You're not going to believe what just happened behind those locked doors. King Harris, the son of rap legend T.I., has just been brutally attacked in jail, and it happened just moments after his sentencing was handed down. Yes, you heard that right? Not ours. Not days, moments. Sources close to the facility are saying the young star was still in shock from the judge's decision when the unthinkable happened. A fellow inmate reportedly lunged at him with no warning, sparking a violent brawl that sent the entire block into chaos. Guards were caught off guard. Inmates were screaming, and blood was allegedly seen on the floor just feet away from where King had been seated. But that's not all. One insider says this wasn't random. That King was targeted. That whispers had already been circulating behind bars about his attitude and his last viral moment in court. What started as internet trolling has allegedly turned into real-life consequences. And now, it's war inside that facility. Is this about jealousy, a gang initiation, a revenge hit, or something even more personal? Before we get into the chaos of that violent attack, we need to rewind and look at how King Harris, son of Atlanta rap icon T.I., and reality TV star Tiny ended up in this position in the first place. Because this wasn't some overnight downfall. This was a storm that had been brewing for months, maybe even years. And anyone paying close attention could see the explosion coming. King Harris, the Prince of Atlanta's hip-hop dynasty. King Harris wasn't just another young man in trouble with the law. He was born into hip-hop royalty. T.I. built a multi-million-dollar empire. Tiny earned her stripes in R&B, and together they raised a family under the spotlight. King grew up on camera, the flashy kid on T.I. and Tiny, the family hustle, rocking designer fits before he could even spell the names. But with privilege came pressure. By his teenage years, King was already making headlines for his wild behavior. Clips went viral of him arguing with fast food workers, beefing with strangers online, and flexing stacks of cash on Instagram. While some brushed it off as the antics of a spoiled celebrity kid, others warned he's moving reckless. That boy gonna end up in jail. And sadly, those warnings turned prophetic. The courtroom drama fast forward to sentencing day. The tension inside the courtroom was described as electric. King walked in dressed in a plain suit, but his swagger never left. Witnesses say he smirked, whispered to friends, and rolled his eyes when prosecutors spoke. When the judge read the charges aloud, ranging from disorderly conduct to weapon possession allegations, King reportedly laughed under his breath. That didn't sit well with the judge. According to a leak from someone in the gallery, the judge said, "Mr. Harris, you believe your last name protects you. Let me assure you, it does not." Then came the hammer, sentenced to jail time. The gasps from the audience were immediate. Tiny allegedly broke down in tears. T.I. clenched his jaw, whispering something under his breath that court reporters couldn't quite catch. And King? He stood still, chest out, with the same smirk on his face. But what happened next proved that the bravado wouldn't last long. Why King was targeted here's the thing about jail: fame isn't a shield. In fact, it's a target. From the moment King stepped through intake, insiders say whispers spread fast. Some inmates saw him as the rich kid who thought he was untouchable. Others saw an opportunity to take down a celebrity, and your name rings through the block. One source, allegedly a former inmate who spoke to Hip Hop Underground Daily, claimed King was walking around like he was still on Instagram Live, talking loud, flashing attitude. People don't play that inside. He got marked from day one, and sure enough, within minutes of his sentencing, the chaos began. The attack, according to eyewitnesses inside the facility. The attack was swift and brutal. King was being escorted to holding when another inmate allegedly rushed him. Guards tried to intervene, but it was too late. Fists were flying. Other inmates started yelling, and in the confusion, King was struck multiple times in the face. Blood was seen on the floor, and King had to be pulled away while guards pinned the attacker to the ground. One insider told Raptor Room it was like they were waiting for him. As soon as he walked in, boom. It wasn't about robbery. It was about making a statement. Why this matters? This wasn't just a random jail fight. This was a moment that exposed the danger of fame inside prison walls. King Harris wasn't treated as an ordinary inmate. He was treated as a symbol of privilege, of arrogance, and of a family dynasty that some people inside wanted to break. And now the Harris family is left scrambling. Tiny is allegedly demanding an emergency appeal. T.I. is furious, reportedly telling friends, "They put my son in danger." This ain't justice. This is a setup. But here's the shocking twist. Whispers are already spreading that this attack might not have been random at all, that it wasn't just about jealousy or fame, that someone inside wanted King's silence stopped. And if those whispers are true, the attack in jail might be just the beginning of something darker. The brawl that left King Harris bloodied wasn't just a random clash of egos. It was the kind of strategic hit that only happens when the walls are already whispering your name. And insiders are saying this wasn't a coincidence. This was a setup. And it may trace all the way back to feuds King carried with him from the streets, and even from his father's past. The moment the attack went down when King was sentenced, he still had that signature smirk. Witnesses said he was acting untouchable as he was escorted into the holding block. But just minutes later, the chaos erupted. Multiple sources claim it started when a group of inmates cornered him near the intake area, while guards scrambled to separate them. One inmate managed to land several blows before King was yanked out of reach. He wasn't ready. One insider told Urban Tea Daily he thought he could walk through like he owned the place. That's bait in there. Somebody was always going to test him. But this felt different, like they planned it. The first twist, it wasn't random at first. The story was framed as just another jailhouse fight. But then a chilling detail surfaced. The attacker wasn't just any inmate. He was reportedly affiliated with a local Atlanta set that had been clashing with T.I.'s circle for years. A source close to T.I.'s experied, like close to Fulton County Jail, said bluntly, "It wasn't about King, it was about sending a message to T.I." That's when rumors began swirling, that this attack wasn't simply about King's arrogance or celebrity status. It was a retaliation, possibly tied to old grudges lingering from Atlanta street politics. And here's where it gets even darker. Some insiders believe King was marked the second he stepped into that facility. The gang politics angle in jails. Power isn't about money or fame, it's about alliances. And King Harris, he walked in without protection. Unlike rappers who check in or have ties to local crews, King came in flashing ego, not affiliations. That made him an open target. But the twist, a leaked memo, allegedly from a correctional officer, hinted that the attacker was tipped off ahead of time. The memo claimed the assailant had been hovering near intake without clear reason, as though he knew exactly when King would arrive. Could someone inside have orchestrated this? T.I.'s name gets pulled in as soon as news broke. All eyes turned to King's father. T.I., the rap legend, wasted no time blasting the system. He reportedly told friends, "They set my boy up. Somebody wanted this to happen." And while T.I. has tried to keep his empire polished, the truth is that he's been in his share of beefs, old disputes in Atlanta, industry rivalries, even federal attention. In the past, it's not impossible that enemies would use King as a pawn to make a point. Some blogs even suggested the attack might have been linked to past accusations against T.I. and Tiny enemies resurfacing, leveraging their son's vulnerability in custody. Tiny's breakdown, meanwhile, Tiny is said to be devastated. A source close to her revealed she called jail administrators directly, demanding her son be put in protective custody. She told them flat out, "If anything happens to my child again, blood will be on your hands." But insiders claim protective custody isn't guaranteed. It's overcrowded. They can't promise anything. And honestly, sometimes protective custody paints a bigger target. So now the Harris family is scrambling, trying to protect their son, while the world debates whether King brought this on himself or if he's simply a victim of something bigger. Social media reacts, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram were flooded instantly. He wanted to prove he was tough. Jail showed him tough. Nah, this is bigger. This feels like a warning shot at T.I. that smirk won't save you behind bars. Reality check came quick. Clips of King's courtroom attitude circulated alongside news of the fight, with fans pointing out the karma narrative. But others pushed back, calling the attack a targeted setup. One viral post read, "Don't matter if you like him or not, no one deserves to be ambushed after sentencing." That's foul. The shocking detail, here's where the story took its sharpest turn. An inmate who allegedly witnessed the attack leaked a voice note to a gossip blogger, claiming the assailant yelled, "This is for your daddy." That single line sent the internet into meltdown. If true, this wasn't just an inmate flexing dominance. This was personal, and it confirmed the theory. The beef wasn't with King. It was with T.I. the Harris family's silence at the time of writing. Neither T.I. nor Tiny have made an official statement, but insiders claim the family is weighing legal action against the facility, accusing them of negligence and deliberate endangerment. Meanwhile, King himself is said to be rattled but refusing to admit it. A source close to him said he's still talking tough, but quieter now. The cliffhanger, so here we are. King Harris, bloodied in his first hours of Towers of Towies. JL, a whisper of inside help setting up the attack, a direct connection to T.I.'s past beefs, and a family scrambling to protect their legacy son before the next strike hits. Because if King was targeted once, what's stopping it from happening again? And even scarier, what if this was just the opening shot in a larger war aimed at T.I. himself? When the first headlines hit, fans thought it couldn't get worse than King Harris being jumped minutes after sentencing. But insiders say that was only the beginning. What happened next pushed the entire facility to the brink of chaos and unleashed a rumor so dark, it's threatening to spill over into the streets of Atlanta. The second wave of violence, according to multiple eyewitness reports. The attack didn't stop with King's injuries. Word of the brawl spread so fast through the blocks that within hours, tensions in the jail exploded. They started picking sides. One insider whispered, some of the inmates actually stood up for King. Others wanted him gone. It was like the whole jail split in half overnight. Guards had to lock down multiple units after fights broke out between groups arguing over whether King should be protected or finished. One correctional officer reportedly described the scene as pure madness. "We haven't seen a facility-wide flare-up like this in years." His name was on every inmate's lips. He was the center of the storm, the shocking reveal. Someone paid for the hitman, then came the shocking leak. An anonymous source inside the jail claimed the attack wasn't spontaneous, it was bought and paid for. The alleged bounty, $10,000 in cash. That revelation set the internet on fire. Who would spend that kind of money just to see T.I.'s son get jumped behind bars? Was this revenge from old rivals? Or was this orchestrated by someone much closer to home? Whispers began linking the hit back to a street figure with ties to T.I.'s past disputes, but other reports hinted at something even more scandalous, that a fellow rapper, long at odds with the Harris family, may have funded the hit to humiliate them publicly. Fake Twitter threads light upon Twitter. Fake threads started circulating like wildfire. At ATL to Queen, word is somebody put $$ on King's head before he even walked in. That's not beef, that's business. At Rap Beef Files, y'all ain't ready for this tea? Industry enemies been waiting for T.I. to slip. King just caught the smoke meant for his dad. At Street Leaks, heard the bounty came from outside the walls. Paid in advance. This ain't no random fade. This is orchestrated. Whether true or not, the rumor took on a life of its own. Suddenly, fans weren't just talking about King getting attacked. They were speculating on who had orchestrated the takedown. Atlanta hip-hop. Unity reacts in. That's when the industry weighed in. Rappers, producers, and influencers started posting cryptic messages, clearly referencing the chaos. One Atlanta rapper tweeted, "Sometimes the sins of the father fall on the son." Another posted on IG, "Y'all thought jail was sweet. Fame don't protect you in the jungle." A major producer close to T.I. fired back. "Do you think touching his son makes you powerful? Just wait until the family responds." This ignited a storm of speculation. Was retaliation coming? Would T.I. himself make a move? King Harris's own response insiders claim that even after the attack, King is still trying to project strength. Allegedly, he told another inmate, "They can't break me. I'm still royalty. My bloodline don't fold." But witnesses say his tone was different, less cocky, more desperate. One guard allegedly overheard King asking to be moved to solitary confinement after hearing about the $10,000 bounty, but publicly through his people. He continues to deny he's scared. That contradiction only fueled speculation. Is King really holding his own, or is he terrified behind closed doors? Tiny's rage, T.I.'s silence, while Tiny is raging at the system. Insiders claim T.I. has gone eerily silent. He's not saying much. He's making calls, one insider said. When Tip goes quiet, that's when you should be worried. That statement alone sent fans spiraling. Was T.I. preparing some kind of response behind the scenes? Could this escalate beyond the jail walls and into the streets of Atlanta? Social media meltdown. The internet is now split into camps. The karma camp, saying King got exactly what he asked for with his arrogant behavior. The conspiracy camp, convinced the hit was bought and the attack was meant to humiliate the Harris family. The sympathy camp, who believe no matter how arrogant King was, no one deserves to be set up like that. One viral TikTok showed King's old live stream where he bragged about being built for the streets, paired with footage of ambulances outside Fulton County Jail, captioned, "The streets tested him and won." The cliffhanger, and here's where it all turns terrifying. Multiple unconfirmed reports claim that the $10,000 bounty hasn't been collected yet, meaning the job isn't finished. If true, that means King Harris is still a target. Every day he spends behind those walls could be his last calm breath, and the Harris family knows it. So now the question isn't what happened. The question is, what's coming next? The moment the news hit social media, the public reaction was nuclear. At first, people were in shock, not just because King Harris was attacked, but because it happened minutes after his sentencing. To fans, it felt less like a random fight and more like a planned ambush. And in today's world, nothing stays contained. The story leaked online, and within minutes, hashtags like #PrayForKing and #FreeTipsOn were trending across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Fans in frenzy, the public split into three explosive camps. The sympathizers. These fans rallied behind King, flooding social media with prayers, memes, and even organizing virtual vigils. One viral TikTok showed fans lighting candles with captions like, "He's still a child at heart. Nobody deserves this." The critics, this camp, didn't hold back. They reposted King's old live streams, bragging about being built for the streets and mocking workers, pairing them with footage of ambulances outside the jail. Captions read, "You wanted the streets. The streets wanted you back." The conspiracy theorists, this group went wild with speculation. Posts claimed that rival rappers, gang leaders, or even jealous industry peers had paid for the attack. One viral tweet read, "That wasn't a fight, that was a hit job." Somebody wanted the Harris name embarrassed. Industry titans speak out. The hip-hop industry didn't stay quiet. Major names chimed in, and their words only made the storm bigger. Meek Mill allegedly tweeted before deleting, "Jail ain't no joke. Hope lil bro hold his head." Nobody wins in their Boosie Badaz went on IG Live saying, "See, they don't care about who your daddy is. Inside you, just another man. King better learn fast." 50 Cent couldn't resist being messy. He reposted headlines with the caption, "All that talk. Now he get tested. SMH, streets undefeated." And then came the most shocking. a cryptic Instagram story from an Atlanta rapper with a long-standing beef with T, which simply read, "Told y'all it was coming. Hashtag ain't no passes." That post alone sent fans spiraling into theories that the attack was industry-connected. Politicians weigh in, believe it or not. Even politicians started using King's situation to score points. One Georgia congressman tweeted, "This is exactly why we need prison reform. A young man should not walk into sentencing and end up assaulted within minutes." Meanwhile, a conservative pundit shot back, "This is what happens when you glorify thug life. No sympathy." The debate went from rap beef to national talking point in less than 24 hours. Tiny versus the system. Tiny, furious and emotional, allegedly reached out to reporters claiming the system had failed her son. She reportedly said they promised safety. Instead, he walked into a setup. "I won't stay silent." Fans immediately rallied behind her, calling out the justice system and demanding King be placed in protective custody. T.I.'s silence turns ominous, but T.I.'s silence became the loudest statement of all. Insiders said he hasn't posted, hasn't tweeted, and hasn't spoken publicly. Instead, he's making calls. Fans know what that means. T.I. might not fight this battle in the press, but in the streets. One fan wrote on Twitter, "Tip ain't quiet 'cause he's scared. Tip quiet 'cause somebody about to get handled." That post alone racked up 200,000 likes. Social media chaos. The chaos spiraled so badly that King's name started appearing on non-hip-hop platforms. On Reddit forums, prison insiders debated whether he'd survive. On TikTok, creators stitched his old clips with news footage, making viral edits with captions like "The Prince of Atlanta, dethroned in one night." The fan war became so heated that arguments broke out in IG comments of unrelated celebrities. The Harris name was everywhere. The cliffhanger, but here's the kicker, late last night, supposed leaked audio recording began circulating online. In it, a voice that fans claim belongs to an Atlanta rapper can be heard saying, "That's just the start. He ain't safe yet. The bag's still open." If this recording is real, it confirms what fans fear most. King Harris remains a marked man. The bounty hasn't expired, and every hour he spends inside could spark a second deadlier attack, so the world is left asking, is King Harris really safe? Or is the real chaos still to come? By now, the world had already accepted that King Harris was living through one of the most dangerous moments of his life. He had been attacked, rumors of a bounty swirled, and the Harris family was scrambling. But just when everyone thought they'd heard the worst of it, an explosive betrayal surfaced that flipped the entire story upside down. The shocking leak late in the night. A whistleblower from inside the jail allegedly leaked a confidential report claiming that King's attack was not only coordinated, but that the attackers knew exactly when and where he would be moved. How? Because someone on the outside tipped them off. According to the leak, an associate close to the Harris family passed information directly into the hands of those behind bars. That detail changed everything. Suddenly, fans weren't just worried about gangs or rival rappers. They were questioning whether someone in King's own inner circle wanted him taken down. Who betrayed him? Names started flying across social media. Some pointed fingers at jealous family members who resented King's spotlight. Others whispered about old associates of T.I. who felt abandoned when his career skyrocketed. The most jaw-dropping speculation: that someone King himself had trusted with money and loyalty had flipped on him for a cut of the bounty. One viral Reddit thread read, "You don't know your enemies until you're locked up." Somebody close to him made that call. Mark my words, Tiny's breakdown when this rumor hit the news cycle. Tiny allegedly collapsed into tears. Insiders say she screamed, "It's one of his friends. I knew it. I told him stop trusting everybody." Her grief turned into rage. She reportedly demanded federal protection for her son, even threatening to sue the state for negligence. But here's the catch. Legal experts now say if this betrayal came from within his circle, the system itself may not be to blame at all. It would mean the danger is closer to home than anyone realized. T.I.'s mysterious meeting, meanwhile. T.I. was spotted in Atlanta entering a luxury hotel with several men known for their deep street ties. Photos leaked online showed him looking stone-faced, phone in hand, surrounded by bodyguards. This fueled even more speculation. Is T.I. planning a countermove? Is he preparing to strike back at whoever put his son in danger? Whether that's rival rappers, street gangs, or even disloyal insiders. One blogger wrote, "When tip goes silent, cities burn." Y'all better pray he don't find out who put that bag on King. King Harris speaks and then, the most shocking twist of all, a leaked jailhouse call surfaced online, allegedly between King and a family member. In the audio, King's voice sounds shaky but defiant. He says, "I know who did it. I know exactly who set me up. And when I get out, I swear on my blood, I'm coming for them." If this recording is authentic, it means King isn't just a victim. He's plotting revenge. And that revelation has fans both terrified and glued to the drama. The cliffhanger, so here we are. A $10,000 bounty still rumored to be active. A betrayer possibly sitting inside. King's own circle T.I. moving in silence. His next steps unknown. King himself vowing retaliation the moment he's free. And the scariest part? Sources say the inmates who attacked King have already been moved, but not for punishment. Instead, they've been placed in protective custody. Why? Because officials believe there's now a counter bounty on their heads, which means this isn't just jailhouse drama anymore. This is a war. And if it continues, the Harris family won't just be fighting for King's safety, they'll be fighting to keep Atlanta from erupting into full-blown chaos. So I'll leave you with this question. Who betrayed King Harris? And when the truth comes out, will it tear apart his family, his father's legacy, and the streets of Atlanta forever? And there you have it, family. The shocking, unbelievable, and downright terrifying saga of King Harris behind bars. From the brutal attack minutes after sentencing to whispers of a $10,000 bounty, to the possibility of a betrayal from within his own circle. This isn't just hip-hop drama anymore. This is a life-or-death cliffhanger playing out in real time. Now the big question is, what happens next? Does King survive this storm? Does T.I. strike back at whoever dared to put his son in danger? Or does this betrayal rip apart the Harris legacy forever? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you believe the rumors of a bounty? Do you think someone close to King sold him out? Or is this all just the dark side of fame finally catching up with him? And don't just comment, debate. We know this story is going to split people down the middle. Is King a victim of a system that failed him? Or is this karma for the reckless life he flaunted online? While you're at it, smash that like button if this story had you on edge, and subscribe because this saga is far from over. Trust me, the next chapter in this drama is going to make everything you just heard look like child's play. There are whispers of another major name getting pulled into this scandal, and when that truth drops, the internet is going to melt down all over again. Turn on that notification bell, because you do not want to miss the next update. Until then, remember, in the world of fame, money, and power, the truth is never what it seems, and the story is never over. And that's where we leave it tonight. Y'all with more questions than answers, and the Harris family standing on the edge of a storm that could reshape everything. Think about what just unfolded. King Harris wasn't just attacked, he was targeted. Rumors of a $10,000 bounty, whispers of betrayal from inside his own circle, and a jailhouse call where King himself promised revenge. Add to that T.I.'s chilling silence, Tiny's fury, and an entire city of Atlanta buzzing with speculation. And you've got one of the most explosive hip-hop sagas in years. But now, I'm turning it over to you. Do you think King Harris will make it out of this alive? Was this really an inside betrayal? And if so, who do you think dropped the dime on him? Do you believe T.I. is moving in silence to protect his son? Or to retaliate? And what happens if King really follows through on his promise of revenge? I want to hear every single theory. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Don't hold back. This story is tearing the internet apart, and your voice matters in the conversation. And while you're here, smash that like button if this breakdown had you glued to the screen, and hit that subscribe button because trust me, the next chapter in this story will be even crazier. Turn that notification bell on, because whispers are already spreading about another major Atlanta name being pulled into this war. And when that news drops, it's going to send shockwaves across the industry. So stay tuned. This is only the beginning. Stay tuned. This is only the beginning.